Hello friends, welcome to Wool and Row Arts. I'm Leslie and today we're going to go ahead and make Mrs. Claus. We have a cute Santa here I made last year and he's missing his wife, so we need to make Mrs. Claus and add her to the scenery. This is my Santa. He is relaxing by the fire and we have our little diorama made from primarily cardboard. I will link Santa's video in the cardboard house in the description. Santa's looking pretty cute, but let's go ahead and start making Mrs. Claus. So we need to start by making Mrs. Claus's head. So let's make sure this clay is nice and conditioned. Let's run it through the pasta maker a couple times. Now, Santa Claus is sitting. My Santa's more like a gnome style Santa. But Mrs. Claus needs to be similar in size. Let's get our little skeleton-ish shape to work with. And then I like to basically have a flat surface. I kind of like to get an approximate center, almost like a skull shape. Then we can add everything to that surface. Because I believe I made Santa's eyes. I used glass eyes to make Santa. I still have some of these little glass eyes left, so I'm going to go ahead and make Mrs. Claus eyes, same as Santa's. Use my little cutting tool, make some little circles here. This is so we have our approximation of eyeball shape. We are going to take our little white little circle, take some baking butter, slap it on here, and we're just going to make that white part around the eye. We have two eyeballs. So now that I have my eyeballs, I want to place them where I want her eyeballs to approximately be. Get that shape. So now we have our eyeballs. Trying to decide what kind of nose I want Mrs. Claus to have. Mr. Claus, Santa has kind of a bigger nose. I don't think I want her to have a big nose. Let me see if I can get her a little bit of a smaller nose. I make my noses by making kind of like a little triangular shape. Since I slightly hardened this with my heat gun, I'm going to add a little bacon bond to between here. And then we're going to get her little nose in. And I still feel like it's a little big, but let's get the base of it going. Let's just keep playing. Not quite feeling Mrs. Claus just yet, but we'll get there. This is like the alien phase. I feel like she needs to be jolly. She needs to be smiling. Right now she has, yeah, she kind of looks like my witch lady. I also don't want her to have a major underbite either. But let's keep going. We're keeping going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. If she was like smiling. So I did a little pre-bake just to save some progress, and I'm going to add to it. She's looking pretty cute. She's looking happy. So I think I've got that accomplished, and I'm just going to, continue on with her. She looks a little silly now because she doesn't have any hair. I'm going to add her ears. I'm not sure once I put hair on her ears will still show up, but it's always fun to add ears. Slap on some ears. I just take little balls of clay, equally sized. As we always say, ears aren't twins, ears are siblings or cousins, but ears are really fun to make. You just take a little circle, smush it on the side of the head. These are obviously look different because this is baked, this is not baked. Excuse my voice, guys. It is cold season. It is always cold season here. It's never ending in our house. 3 kids in school, that's why. I've decided, my friends, that I'm gonna go ahead and paint her. I'm having the hardest time visualizing her, what she needs, and she still looks like a old man. I think she fits with the Santa, so I think she's okay. All right, because Santa's a little guy. She needs to be little too. So I'm gonna go ahead and make her fully clay like Santa besides the hair. If Santa's like leaning back, he's kind of in a sitting position. So she, I think, is gonna be that height. And I'm gonna make her in a dress so she'll be able to stand, and we'll probably won't show her feet. Getting a basic structure around the dress form, blocking it in. So we have a little base structure of Mrs. Claus. I think we're gonna go with this. I think I like her little small stature. So let's work on Mrs. Claus's outfit. I did a quick little bake just to get her head attached, but I feel like she has a sweet face. It doesn't look like a grandpa anymore. Just getting her basic shoulder and arms. This gray clay is not my favorite. I prefer the Super Sculpting Living Doll. This is Super Sculpting Medium or Firm. I like the Living Doll. It's much smoother to work with, but let's just use it up to get my base anyways. I want my Mrs. Claus to have a little fur collar thingy here. Make some buttons for her coat using my little hole punch. We have some more fabric folds in her sweater or little coat, whatever she's wearing. So now I want to start working on Mrs. Claus' hands. I made some super simple hands for Santa Claus. So I'm just kind of figuring out what I can do for her hands. So Mrs. Claus is going to be bald for a little bit longer. We are going to start painting some parts of her. Hello, my friends. It is the next day for me, and I've been brainstorming what I want to do with her skirt. What color do I want to make it? So I have now come up with an idea for the bottom layer of her coat. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the rest of her skirt red, and then I plan to add more of the fur around this edge of the coat. So I have my little fur edge, and I'm going to take my dotting tool or my ball stylus and just texturize. So I added the fur trim of her coat. Heat guns are a game changer when it comes to just doing small pieces. This is just a really simple, not hugely powerful heat gun. We're gonna let this cool a minute. I'm gonna touch up her white, add more red. We're just gonna keep going with the painting. I am really liking her. I think she's super cute. I'll do a little bit more red touch-ups, but I really think I'm ready and I want to add her hair because I have to figure out what kind of hair is this lady gonna have. So I have my handy dandy rug that I've used in many projects. This is what Santa's made out of him, and I made Velcro out of this rug. So this rug is just come in handy for a lot of projects. So what I want to do is take my little rug piece, seeing which way the hair actually goes, and then I'm going to cut a section off. Take your X-Acto or your box cutter and you just cut through. You're not using scissors because you don't want to cut off the pieces. So some things you could glue this right to, but she's so little that I'm just going to kind of cut off individual hair wefts. And I think I'm just going to glue them on her. This is just PVA glue, regular Elmer's glue, school glue. Let's see. Super hard to see, but I gave her some earrings using nail art beads. They're just like little red, teeny little beads I glued to her ears. And now I'm adding some red glitter to her coat here. And I think she's done. Thank you everybody for watching. Let's check out the final results.